Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining. I wanted to take the time to thank you for being a supporter of this channel, for watching my videos, for commenting, for liking, for sharing these videos. It means a lot to me. Today we are going to talk about surrender, how to surrender your life to God. I have published a book recently called Surrender. Yes, that is my third book. That's my third book. It was a pleasure writing this book. It was a pleasure to just pour my heart out, in this book. And I just want to take the time to say tonight that every single book that I have written is a testimony of my personal life. Every single book, I've written 3 books. Each and every one of them are a part of my journey. And if you read my book from the first one to the second one to the third one, you will understand my journey, because each and every one of them is part of my journey, where I started with God and where I am now with Him. So the first book was God Chose Me, right? It was a personal story where I met God, how I met Him, how things started to make sense for me, because before I knew of God, but I did not have a relationship with Him. So the God Chose Me is me, talking about how I started my personal relationship with God. And the second book was a devotional, Keep Running. It's a 21 days devotional, and that's again part of my journey. When I have met God and started a relationship with Him, I thought all of a sudden everything was gonna change in my life. Everything was just gonna change, because I recognized that I was in the wrong side of the road. So I thought in my head, like, thing was just gonna be good, but I didn't know that there was a process. So the second book, Keep Running, was my process. So after I said yes to God, now there was a process. So this book is definitely, the other part of my journey. After that, I said yes. After that, I recognized that, I couldn't go any longer with God. So the third book is Surrender. After the process, after that, I understand I needed to trust God. After that, I understand that, I needed to build a prayer life and all these things. Then now, after that, I understand all these things. Then now I surrender. I surrender my life. So this third book is all about surrender. Surrender your life. Surrender. To live a surrendered life to God is not the most easiest thing. And I will confess to that. It's not easy. So if you are in a stage of your life right now, you are struggling, or you even asking yourself, what does it look like to surrender to God? What does that even mean, to surrender? Let me tell you, a lot of people think they are living a surrendered life just because they are Christian, just because they go to church, just because they know God, they think that they are living a surrendered life. And in fact, they are not. They are just surrendered to their own desire, to their own thinking, and how they think they should be doing things and stuff like that. So first of all, you cannot talk about surrender to God if you don't have a relationship with him. You have to have a very close relationship with God. And the thing is about surrendering to God is you want to know. You want to know how good it is. You want to know how beneficial it is to live a surrendered life, not until you are actually living that surrendered life. I did not know that it was the best life. I did not understand it was the best life. That's because I never lived it. I never experienced it. So to me, I thought that, living on the other side was the best life possible. No. Surrender. A surrendered life to Christ is the best life. It's the best possible life that you can ever live. It's the best life. It's the most guaranteed life. It's the most assuring life to live. Jesus said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. The way, the truth, and the life. There is no lie about that. He is the way, he is the truth, and he is the life. There's actually life in God. A lot of people don't know that there is a life in God. There's a life in God. You know what I mean? The thing is about, living a surrendered life to God is like, we spent all these years and living a surrendered life to the world or whatever system. You have to understand, the kingdom of God is a system. Just like the world that we live in now is a system. Everything that is in place have their own system, everything. So the world have its own system. The kingdom of God has its own system. Their own system. They have their own system. You cannot say that you submit your marriage to God when you are holding on onto your finances. It's a system. You have to give everything up to him. So for everything to start making sense in your life, you have to start giving everything to God. You can't give one side and keep the other side. You want get the full benefits. You want get the full result if you just give one part and you keep the other part to yourself. You won't get it. You have to it's like almost like when I surrendered my life to Christ, it's like God came and he broke everything down. So I had to start all over again with God. It's like almost like when I left Haiti to come live in the United States, there's a lot of things that I had to forget about because it's two different cultures. I had to adapt myself to the culture here if I wanted to live here. I had to forget about certain things, that I used to do in Haiti. You know what I mean? It's the same thing with living a surrendered life with God. You have to break all the habit. It's like you're a baby and you're starting all over again with God. It's like you relearn. You're gonna relearn everything. You're gonna relearn everything to actually start thinking about surrender to God. Surrender to God. It's the best possible life you can live. I have tasted, the Bible said, taste and see how the Lord is good. You can't be on the other side and you can't be on the other side and then thinking that you can thinking that what's going on, or it's gonna be good or it's not gonna be good. You actually have to experience it to know that it's the best possible life. Take me as an example. Let me tell you, I I don't want to live no other way than a surrendered life to Christ. It's guaranteed. It's the most guaranteed life. I love it. I love it. I love my walk with God. I just love every single part of it. So if you find yourself struggling to submit your ways to God, if you find yourself struggling to surrender to God, this is the best book for you to read in the season, to understand, what comes with surrender with God, what comes with surrender to God, what comes, how do you surrender to God. This book, what is good about this book, it's a practical step. It's a guide. This book is a guide, and it gives you, a couple of steps on how to surrender, the things that you need. It's literally, gives you like the tools that you need to actually, surrender to God. As you can see on the cover of this book, this is a man, who is laying right in the middle of the ocean. Can you imagine? He's right in the middle of the ocean. And yet, if you can see him, he is relaxed. He is just, going wherever the water is taking him. And this water represents God. And this is us. This is how we have to surrender to him. We just let ourselves go. But there is you can't just say, get up in one morning and said, I'm gonna be this man. No, it's gonna take you, one step at a time to actually, get to this point, to be in the middle of the ocean and just still, don't lose your position, still remaining calm, in the arms of God, remaining calm in God. Can you imagine in the middle of the ocean? There's nobody around, you probably, there are probably all kind of fish, around you. You might see a whale, you might see all kind of animal in the water, yet you continue to remain calm. The water might be cold and all that. It's a different world. You know what I mean? It's a different world. Yeah, we go to the beach and stuff like that, but we don't swim as far as this man, is right now. So that's why it's not the easiest thing to do. But everything, let me tell you, everything that God is calling you to do, he is going to give you the grace for it. He's going to give you the grace for it. Yes, everything that he is calling you to do, he's literally going to give you the grace for it. So I am inviting you, if you have not pick up that book yet, you need to read this book in the season. Purchase this book and, offer it to someone you think that might need it. Offer it to someone, as a Christmas gift, birthday gift, anything. Everybody needs to learn how to surrender. There are people who wouldn't mind surrendering to God, but they just don't know how, or they just don't even know if there is something called surrender to God. So, give it to someone. You never know. This $20 gift could just change somebody's entire life. Because I remember I have read a book, right? It's called, I forgot the name of the book. It was one book that I've read, and that book totally changed my life. Like, I can say this book was one of the things, that shifted my life. So you never know what you can do, when you purchase a book like that and give it to someone. The person might not read it right away, but you just never know. After 2 months, even after 2 years, the person one day might just pick up the book. You just never know. God could use this book to change somebody's life. That's why, I encourage you to just, give it to someone as a gift. And, it will definitely bring them closer to God. It will inspire somebody to live a surrendered life to God. You just never know. So, definitely you need to surrender your life to Christ in this season. I have tried it, And let me tell you, I don't want to live any other life but a surrendered life to Christ. I don't want to live any other life. Jesus lived a surrendered life to God. He did. Everything that he did was in alignment with what God wanted of him, with the plan that God had for his life. So that's how we are called to live. We are called to live a surrendered life. We are called to live in alignment with the will of God. We are called to live that way. So pick up this book. Pick up this book. It's available on Amazon, on Kindle, on my website, www.sophialevasseur.com. Yes, you can pick up this book. And and then send me a review. Yes, after you read this book, send me a review. It will help me. It will encourage me in my ministry, my book ministry, my writing ministry. Definitely, it will encourage me. So yes, after you read it, send me a review and see if I can write me a little something, and I will definitely appreciate it. So thank you so much for watching, and you have a blessed day or night whenever you are watching this video, and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye-bye.